Hey, folks, welcome. We are GrownAGeeks, and tonight we are doing our Captain America Brave New World spoiler review. Join us as we talk about Captain America Brave New World. Back. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are here to talk about Captain America Brave New World, the new movie that just came out from the MCU. Whatever phase we were trying to figure out earlier what phase we're in. I think we're at the end of phase 4. We're getting ready to turn the corner and move into phase 5. We're going to be talking about the things we like, the things we didn't like, and how this will move the MCU forward. Joining me tonight, I've got insert cool nickname, Miss Brandy, RG Cashmere, shielded from the haters, Jeffrey JPNT17, joining me as always. And because we're talking about things about Marvel, we have the marvelous Miss Kennedy. Let's get right into it. I was fortunate enough to actually go see this movie with Miss Kennedy, thanks to MCU ATL. They put together a nice little fan event, and this was one of the fantastic little items that I got in my gift bag. We had priority seating. We got free popcorn and drinks and everything. I got this nifty little sticker. This dope shirt because I love t-shirts, so I love having a t-shirt. Got this nice little piece of art, so that'll be somewhere in the room eventually. We'll find a spot. I have to move something. I don't. You know what? I'll probably try to put it next to my shield. That's what we'll do. I'll find somewhere to put it.
Tear all that Superman crap down.
Hey. You watch your whore mouth now, okay? We keep it all to Superman. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the Star Wars into another room, and then that'll give me a whole wall that I can maybe start dedicating to some Marvel stuff. I got a few things here and there. But I did have a great time at the MCU fan experience. MCU ATL hosted a wonderful event. At the beginning of the event, there was cosplay. You can actually check our Instagram out, and it has everything there. I posted some pictures. I've got some videos up of the stuff. You can click that QR code right there, and that'll take you to where you can find GrownAGeeks. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can get all this content as it comes out. But enough about that. Let's get into the movie. Captain America Brave New World. Sam Wilson is finally Captain America in his own movie. What was the best part about the movie for everybody? Like, anybody feel free to jump in. What did you like most? What was the thing that stood out?
For me, it was the fight scene at the not the Eternal. What is it? What are they? The thing. The body.
The Celestial.
The Celestial.
Yeah, Celestial.
Thank you. That fight sequence at that was incredible. That was probably the best that I've ever seen of Sam Wilson as him fighting.
Yeah. Doing what he does.
Slicing through the plane, when he sliced, I was like, you better, you know what I mean? Like, I was there with him. I was like, okay, Sam, I see you out here, playboy. That was my favorite. That was hands down my favorite sequence of the movie.
Yeah. I you know what? I'm going to say that while that was a fantastic scene for me as far as his fighting, because all of his aerial skills, we got to see a little bit of, every time we've seen Sam with his wingsuit, we get to see what he can do in the air. And when you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, that opening sequence, he was getting it there. So I love to see him in his element like that. I was impressed getting a chance to see him put hands on people, because that's the part that people forget, that Sam Wilson is a trained soldier. He actually is that guy. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And watching him when they were taking on the Serpent Society inside the church and everything, he was putting in work. And he had his hallway fight scene, classic MCU right there. Got to have a little Marvel moment. His hallway fight scene, he was getting it in. And even his fight with Copperhead, there was that one moment where he like slices suit. And I'm like, wait, that's vibranium. How? And so, of course, we get a little detail later about what that is. We'll get to that. But it was good to see him actually be able to throw hands and hold his own against these people, showing that he's a worthy successor and has taken the time and put in the work to be Captain America. And I think that was a good testament to him deserving the title. He's not just a DEI hire. He is Captain America. What else? RG, what did you like about the movie?
I got to give it to him this time, man. They wrote a very good story. I like the story. I like the old, oh, Jesus, I'm forgetting everybody's
Isaiah
name.
Bradley.
Yes, I like Isaiah Bradley's role in the story. I like how this centered around what happened to him and how he got involved in it. I'll also address that later in the show. But everything made sense. As the story progressed along, everything made sense. There was not a lot of plot holes. I felt engaged. I wanted to see how Sam figured out who was behind this and figure out a way to stop it. So I was vested in the story, actually. So to be honest, there's no particular like event in the movie that I particularly like that stands out for me that I want to say, oh, okay, yeah, like I liked that. But what I did appreciate the most about the movie is that they actually really took some time to like do some QA and, you know, go back over and be like, does this make sense? Does this make sense? Is this why he was here? Is this why he was here? It makes it a lot easier, even though I'm not that critical while I'm actively watching the movie live. It still registers with me if it doesn't make sense, just period, to the universe, right? If you're disobeying the rules, if you're just having all these contrivances, it takes me out of it. But they did a good job with this one. And I mean, I'm really happy to see my man, my co-star,
Anthony Mackie got a chance to shine.
Get some shine, man. I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy for you. So that's it.
What's up? Marvelous Miss Kennedy. Talk to me.
The fight scenes, just all of the fight scenes were amazing. And the movie opens with a fight scene, just a well choreographed, just, superhero landings, Sam with the shield bouncing off people's skulls. Sam was that dude in this whole movie. He's in that outfit that finally gets sliced by the guy. And so he goes and he's got a spare uniform, whatever. But my favorite scene in that whole movie, he wasn't even in his Captain America gear. He was in plain clothes. It was the fight scene in the junkyard with Sidewinder. And I think they were up on some cars or something, but Sam comes up and he does this 2-footed kick where his whole body is horizontal. That is my favorite scene in that whole movie. Sam was the main.
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed all of the fight scenes. And one of the things that made this so good was it felt a lot like a Captain America movie, in the same type of political suspense thriller that we got from the other Captain America movies. It fit right in line with that. Jeffrey, what were your highlights? What did you like?
Huge fan of Carl Lumbly's performance as Isaiah Bradley. I think like his ability to emote even through silence. I just was like, if they kill this man, I'm gonna come find Kevin Feige, because I'm not having it. You know what I mean? Like this, I haven't even seen what this man has been through, and I know he's been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's not like, I mean, if you look at pictures of Carl Lumbly online, like he's a fairly happy and healthy guy. Like I've seen him in other stuff. Obviously, he was in Supergirl. He played Martian Manhunter because he did the voice, the cartoon. So that pain and that anguish on his face is like classic old school character acting. And I think those are some of those things that I think often get overlooked in the MCU. Often really how good some of the acting is in the scenes where people are just being people. And I think those are those things where, people, yes, the final fight scene in Endgame is the thing that everybody hangs their hat on, but that only matters because we saw Steve Rogers having the conversation about he can't get drunk. And that only matters because we saw them at the party at the Avengers mansion, all trying to pick up Mjolnir, and Steve like moving it slightly. You know what I mean? Like the small moments lead up to those bigger things. And so I really appreciated that this movie did have a lot of those small moments between, Sam and Isaiah, between Sam and Bucky, between Sam and Joaquin, like you really saw with Sam his whole thing of his character as a human, not just as Captain America, but him as a human being. He was about connecting with people, and that's how he found his own purpose, and that's how he got others, I think, motivated to find their own purpose. Because I've seen some people complain about the ending, and it's like he just talked them down. It's like that's what he does. He talks people down. He's not going to beat his ass.
Right.
That's a superpower.
So
the superpower is therapy
because he didn't take the serum. So
and you
He
can't
didn't
be
want
mad.
to kill him because he realized that he was scapegoated as well. You know, he was an asshole, yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't sign up to be turned in the red hole.
Yeah. Right. And I think the other thing is like, as I recall, there was a phrase that was used to calm the Green Hulk down too. Sun's getting real low, big guy. Right. So don't talk to me about Hulk's getting talked down is not realistic. But the biggest thing to me was Sam's fighting. I've said it before as we were like in the lead up to this movie, I have always thought that Sam's fighting style was very unique. It was like some Air Force kung fu type.
Yeah.
But but he didn't get a lot of chances to really like we obviously we're not here for Sam right now. Like we keep it a buck. Like we here for him now, but like Civil War, we can go back and forth. Yeah, you fight with Spider-Man, but let's see what's going on over here. Let's see what's going on over here. In a Captain America Steve Rogers movie, we here for Steve. Sam, you get your little stuff. This is the first time since, Captain, and even in Captain America and Winter Soldier, it's still like it's a two-handed thing. So we're going back and forth. And a lot of that is about him not believing in himself and not thinking he's deserved. Now we like, oh, you've been sleeping in the bed with this shield. Like this is your shield now. Like
he's so good with the shield.
You doing stuff because he's doing stuff we did not see Steve do with it.
No.
Like when you were talking about Brandy and the fight scene. When he was like, even the way he uses it in concert with his wings as a shield, using it, giving it to the drone and being like, here, you hold it behind me while I go here. I think like the ingenuity behind how they thought of different ways to use Sam's shield, because it's Sam's shield now, to use Sam's shield in the different fight scenes and incorporate like a whole new aerial threat. I mean, I think people are going to have to go back and really, really watch that aerial fight scene again. It was long. It was a lot going on, and it was like juxtaposed with like the tension, not only of what's happening like in the air, but like what's happening on the phone, what's happening on the phone between the president in Japan, and what's happening on the phone between the president and Samuel Stearns. Like, it's just a lot going on, and the action was just like, all right, we ramping up. Is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? And I think like, I have to say, whoever choreographed all the fights and stunts, kudos to them, because it wasn't as simple as like with Captain America, where it's like one hitter quitters. Like, no, Sam had to, it had to be 3, 4, 5 hits, but he was
still putting them down.
He was putting work in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think as stated earlier, probably one of the biggest things for this movie is it did feel like a Captain America movie. It didn't feel like it was an extension, Falcon and Winter Soldier, the movie. It was a Captain America movie with all the same political intrigue. Basically, another story of Captain America having to do what's right, regardless of what's going on around. He's looking to do the right thing, not the easy thing, not the simple thing, but the right thing. And when we saw the conversation he had where he was, again, kind of doubting himself, like, I need to take the serum, it still comes back to show that one man can make a difference. And once he accepts that, he goes about finding his way of doing it and what's going to work best for him. He can't try to fill someone else's shoes. He just has to put on his own boots and walk that mile. And once he started doing that, and we got a chance to see him do that, he excelled because he was doing what he was comfortable with. And that's what you're talking about as far as like incorporating Red Wing. And I like that they really tried to show that he has this I feel like that was one of those little Easter egg kind of moments where he has this relationship with this inanimate object, Red Wing, whereas in the comics, he actually had like the telepathic link with the bird. Right. So the way he treats this like a companion, like almost like a pet, you know what I'm saying? It's a nice little nod to the comics and recognizing he's intuitive and uses it in creative ways and does things that most people wouldn't think because he has faith and confidence in his abilities. And, you know, watching those fight scenes in the air versus watching the fight scenes when it was just him in the suit, because like when they went down into the first bunker, he was just in street clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like they got out the truck, they cut through the fence, and then they like walked in the building. And so everything he had to do there was just hands. And I do like that they made it a point to show that he had that skill. Like when he did that little kick catch with the shield, oh, that's it. Like that he's him now. He's him now. Like you can't say that he's not just as good. The shield has its own properties. It doesn't obey the laws of physics, and he figured out how to use it the way that he needs to use it. So very, very pleased with that. However, this was not a perfect movie. It was a very, very, very good movie. And there are a few things that, well, for me, there was one thing in particular that stood out that I think might have hurt the movie a little bit. It isn't exclusive to this movie. It's just something that's happened as of late. And it's revealing so much in the trailer. The way this story was built, I think having Red Hulk just appear on screen with no conversation would have been a mind-blowing moment, and that was an opportunity missed. They could have talked up you could have showed me Samuel Stearns. You could have showed me the leader with his warped and deformed head and put all the focus on him. You had, you know, Giancarlo Esposito there. You could have put more focus on him. He had enough scenes to make it seem like something was really going to be there. Almost a waste of that character. I hope we see him again. But having Red Hulk in the trailer, hyping it up, I spent half the movie just waiting to see if this was going to be the moment. And it was so telegraphed because of all the promotion material. I knew when it was going to happen. I knew when it was going to come, and it almost fell flat. So I couldn't be as excited as I wanted to be. And I think Marvel has gotten very accustomed to having those epic moments on screen, and now they're playing it safe. They want you to come out. They want you to be in the theater. They got to make sure you're going to show up. So they're giving everything away. And that was just a moment that I felt could have been so much bigger. And I was sitting there just arms crossed waiting for it to happen. And then when it finally happened, I was like, okay, let's see how we're going to get out of this. Not the attitude I should have had when that happened, but it wasn't enough to detract from the movie as a whole. I'm not going to ding it too hard for that, but it was a moment that really could have had impact. And I hate that they wasted it in a trailer.
Nah, so I'm gonna ding it hard for that. Pause. Like because this is not the first time Marvel has done that. And like obviously, you know, if you've watched the channel before, you know my previous job, I did a lot of work with Marvel, and so I had shit spoiled for me all the time just because of work. But I know the impact of, like, I talk all the time about the fact that like I got to see Civil War early. This was before the general public knew Spider-Man was showing up in the movie. It was just like when he showed up in his suit on screen without knowing and without seeing that in the commercial, in the trailer, that was a really impactful moment for me on screen the first time. But once it's in the trailer, now it's no longer got the same impact because you're not showing it within the scope of the narrative. And I think they did that because Walmart and Target was like, we got to sell Spider-Man t-shirts for this. Right. And I don't know how we going to make it a secret that Spider-Man is in this movie, because I need to be able to put 500,000 Spider-Man tees on the floor across America. And I can't just hold these until 2 weeks after the movie comes out or whatever embargo Marvel wants to do.
Yeah,
you look at this movie, Harrison Ford is also like probably the biggest star in the movie. And I think they were low-key kind of scared people weren't going to see this movie if it was just billed as like Anthony Mackie fighting like a green dude with a big head. Like
broccoli head.
Yeah, it just, I think they were worried about that. And I think they were worried about not being able to do Red Hulk t-shirts and promotional materials and selling all that kind of stuff. They saw, okay, there's more dollars if we reveal this, even though it will drastically like hurt the experience of seeing the actual film, because like Sam said, like even when it's gonna happen because they showing Red Hulk with the cherry blossoms. So it's like we on the ship
Not
right
only
now.
that,
Ain't no
but
cherry
like
blossoms.
it feels like there was a
They were
build,
hedging their
right?
bets.
So we see him taking the pills and we see that this is happening. And then now he's angry and he punches the table, and
it cracks.
The build up to the final reveal of Red Hulk would have been so much bigger if I didn't already know. You're absolutely right, because it's true. It's like the whole time you're like, oh, it's because you know what I mean?
Right. And see, and the first time I saw him taking the pills, I immediately was like, oh, okay, so he's taking the pills to remain calm. Because every time people start talking to him and whatnot, he's like, trying to hurry up and get a pill. So I'm like, he's obviously taking the pills to keep himself calm. That's what that's about. And then when he goes out in the hall, and I'm like, well, he's not going to turn into a Hulk on the ship, because that don't make sense.
Cherry blossoms.
Right. The whole ship will sink. And like I said, I don't see no cars lined up. I don't see. Well, maybe he could jump from the ship across. I was trying to make it make sense in my head. And then, of course, like you see, he gets not really talked down, but he's able to calm down. And like the first time his calf muscle started to swell up a little bit, all I could think is like, if I didn't know what that meant, that would be a moment right there. That would be so hype. And unfortunately, it's one of those things where like people who don't watch movies, perhaps maybe the way we watch movies, may not have been able to put two and two together. Because I promise you, my wife, when she saw him turn into the Hulk, she was like, oh, it was the president? I was like, didn't you see the trailer? Like, but of course, she's like, she has no context for any of this. So if it's like whatever she sees on screen is what she's going to see. She still got to enjoy that moment. And it was still kind of a big deal for her when he made the transformation. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm sitting there arms crossed because I know it's coming and I'm just waiting for it. Like, come on, get to it. You're not surprising me. So do it. Just
it's
pull
like
the trigger.
We just want to see how good the fight is. And we want to understand why he hasn't ripped Anthony Mackie in half. And I think they did a pretty good job with that. But it's still that reveal, because even the way they shot it, it was like a reveal, like he comes up over the podium again and now he's Red Hulk. Like you could tell the filmmaker shot that as though this is going to be a reveal that nobody is going to know until they go and see the film. And then it's like, actually, we got Red Hulk t-shirts.
You kind of know.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you haven't seen the last trailer. And I'm sure it's one of those things where the director probably doesn't get any say in the trailer part of it. So, of course, when he saw it in the trailer, he was like,
not.
Hell, you know,
they had a meeting. They were like, hey, I know
I deliberately told Harrison, don't say anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because he was walking around not telling anybody.
Well, we're in the era of collectibles now. And because I know I've seen several times here lately, I'll see stories in my Google feed about the bad guy of this movie has been spoiled by the release of the Funko Pop series
or the Lego
ahead of the movie. And of course, they released the series of Captain America Brave New World, and there's a Red Hulk in there. So, I mean, I think in this age of collectibles and especially Funko Pops, I guess they figure we might as well just go ahead and put it in the trailer because it's going to be spoiled anyway.
And it's crazy because it's like Funko Pops are not something where you gotta like sell people on them. They're gonna get them.
Right.
You could just drop it. You could literally drop the Red Hulk 2 weeks after the movie and it will be more of a collectible.
Exactly.
But they want that upfront money and they want that guarantee money. And we just have to be honest, like in today's climate, in today's landscape, a Black Captain America is not like something that
guaranteed
any smart businessman would just be like, this is gonna do it. This is gonna make people excited and happy.
Let's shove the chips.
We gotta be like, I mean, I get it. Like, you got a Red Hulk president waving the American flag, destroying the White House, using the flag as a weapon to like destroy Black Captain America in an age where, every DEI program in America is being slashed. Like, whether intended or not, the symbolism of that is enough to make you say, hey, let's take this upfront Red Hulk money versus betting on if people are going to see it and rock with it and see it again and see it again. And I think that's been a little bit of my problem with some of the coverage of the movie too, because it's like, oh my God, it's already made its budget back. And it's like, well, name a black Marvel movie that's come out that black people haven't gone and supported and made money for. And then they come back with the week 2 numbers. This is one of the biggest. When the last time anybody heard week 2 numbers? Last I checked, all we ever cared about was opening weekend and final weekend.
Right.
I ain't never heard of week 2 numbers till now.
It made $250 million the first weekend. Everybody saw it then. What do you expect with the second week? The second week, it's people like me who went and saw it again.
Twice. Yeah.
Or the people who would have been like, oh, I'm going to go see it. Or the people who would have been like, oh, I'm going to go see it. But it's like, we know a lot of people are not going to see it for a certain reason. So even you bringing up like the numbers, the week 2 numbers is not an indictment on the quality of the film. It's an indictment on the quality of the audience, in my opinion.
Right.
Like if you just say, oh, I love the MCU, but it's woke. I'm sorry. This is comic book accurate. Everything y'all complained about, people have found panels and covers and stories that follow all of this. So again, let's be honest about what you don't like. This is what you don't like. This is what you're mad about. You're mad about the black man going caca, and you don't want to see him out there doing what we did with basketball. That's what he was doing, and one moves with the shield.
Can I just say, I just want to say I completely agree with that assessment of how people are looking at how the movie's doing. I just want to call the task. We got to show out the way we showed out for Black Panther, right? This is still a black movie. We didn't need them. We didn't need them for Black Panther. Black Panther was going to get it. We were going to go. All of us. Everybody was going to go. So more of us need to go and show out for this one as well. You know what I'm saying? So I want to call out, we don't need you. In the words of Malcolm X, what can you do? Nothing. So that's it. Go ahead.
I have a critique though.
What's up?
And people, I get it. Go see the movie. This is just my personal opinion. It is not an indictment against this movie. I did enjoy the movie. Still not a huge fan of Anthony Mackie.
Well, there's gonna be that, and you're not alone. I know several people who are not big fans of Anthony Mackie.
Oh yeah,
feel like there was the uploading to the movie. I felt time while I was watching this movie, and maybe I need to watch it again. But there were times when I was just like, I am very aware that this movie is still going. I think maybe they had a little too much going on. I think maybe we needed to focus on one thing or the other.
I think part of what made this movie a little different from some, and this is one of the things that definitely made it different from other Captain America movies. They tried to make sure that they had a little bit of everything for everybody, as opposed to focusing on just this one story. Because the chief security advisor, Sabra, that could have been like
the whole thing.
Honestly, could have been nobody.
All of that could have been cut. I don't feel that there was anything substantially added by, and nothing against the actress, because I think given the circumstances, given the circumstances, she did fine. But I just think
that could have also been the black lady who was next to the president the whole movie.
That could have been anybody who was over 5 feet 7.
But when you do that,
now
it's too. Because why is she not just like a secret Wakandan agent that they've implanted into the American government to make sure? You know what I'm saying? Like, why we got this random Israeli she's just former Black Widow that's not connected to anything else? Yeah. So
it felt like they threw that Black Widow part in to kind of try to justify. Well, she was a Black Widow, was she? Because I don't care.
Right. Well, and this is one of those things.
So when she started beating people up, you're like, oh, okay.
There you go.
But it's like
she is a widow.
There you go.
How tall is she? She's like
5
inches tall.
She's like 4. She's 4 feet 13.
Yeah.
But she's enhanced because she's the former Black Widow. So I can. All right. Okay. Suspension of disbelief. Let's keep it moving.
You mentioned Giancarlo Esposito. I'm sorry. I've been saying his name wrong. And that's my sweet babu. I got to get it right. Why would you have him in that movie and then not let him chew up all of the scenery all of the time. Like
every time, like he was the only person I really felt was putting up a threat at some point, and watching the two of them go back and forth, I was like, okay, this is the fight scene I'm looking forward to here. So when they get ready to have their showdown, and it's kind of like, that was a little easier than I thought it was going to be, but okay.
and
You know
also
what?
I love Harrison Ford. I just wanted to put that out there. I
You know
love
what?
Harrison
He
Ford.
wanted to be caught.
I've been in love
That's
with
what
him
it
since
is.
I was a baby. So it's just always nice to see him. I'm glad he's welcome to the MCU. So
Honestly,
we'll
you know what?
He's the perfect curmudgeonly like white man who tiptoes on that borderline
like,
of like, are you about to say
yes. When he called him son, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, big dog, I'll pull this shit out right now.
Yeah.
The scene from the trailer was not the scene in the movie, because I'm sitting there in the movie and I was like, say it.
Waiting for him to say it, right? And he didn't say it in the movie.
There was a whole funeral in the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did I miss it?
But that's they do that. They do that. So that's happened in previous movies.
Right. And again,
They
it's
do that
happening
to
in
mess with
MCU
people.
movies.
Died because they had the funeral was in the trailer, and then there was no funeral. So I didn't know if there was something I didn't know.
That drives the narrative a different way and whatnot. And so I thought that was because having him, I expected him to get his piece in and be like, you know what? I'm not. And then walk out. Instead, he walked out, angry black man, and you know what I'm saying, talking all that smack. But I'm like, no, I feel like he would have said that to him. I feel like he would have said that to his face. He would have been out down the hall. Okay. I know what's happening.
Went like kind of almost like this family friendly Captain America route. Like the other Captain America movies felt like Jason Bourne movies. This felt like Jason Bourne Jr. on Disney Plus.
Disney. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was like, yeah, you doing all the fighting, you doing all the cool stuff, but like I also kind of see why some of these people are not taking you seriously, because like Sam was like, you got to go in the hallway and get talked to, and the black lady got to come out there and calm you down. And it's like, nah, man, nobody would have had to calm Steve Rogers down, because nobody would have been talking to Steve Rogers like that. Right. Now, I get that, because that's also part of the struggle of the character, but I think that for me, if you want people to take Sam Wilson seriously, he got to have a big chest like Steve Rogers had the big chest. You know what I mean? Like, and not just in the fight scenes, but in the war room when people are communicating as well. Because I think, you know, people respected Steve because he went to war. Well, Sam went to war too. I know we didn't see the movie. I know we just saw him as like the general counselor at the PTSD meeting. But like when you see him out there, clearly this man has been in war before. So like cut the little boy stuff, cut the son stuff, and like, cause brother, like you're gonna have to turn into the Hulk to get me off you, Harrison. Like that's the energy that I needed, in my opinion, because I felt like that was the energy that Steve had when they were trying to get him to sign the Sokovia Accords. He was like, it was like he was being polite, but it's like, motherfucker, I'm Captain America. You not giving me to do shit I don't want to do. Right. Like, and if you don't say something to me that makes sense to me, I'm not doing it. Right. And it's gonna be people who follow me and not do it too. And so I think like his relationship with Joaquin, a little buddy, not enough like hero sidekick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a little.
Maybe we'll
see working too hard to be funny.
He's not. He doesn't have.
It was like, we get it. Okay, we get it. Yeah, it's not you making me think that you're trying to be funny. Like,
but no offense to people from Miami. If you know dudes from Miami, like that's a dude from Miami for sure.
Yeah, but he's a little plucky. You know what I mean? But he's plucky. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he's plucky.
And I think though that led to like the accident. I'm thinking we're gonna see like a slightly different Joaquin when he get up out that hospital bed,
right?
And
more mature
movie he showed back up in.
I'm sure his Disney Plus show will have him whooping.
Nah, he not getting a Disney Plus show.
Oh, I'm willing to put money.
He definitely comes off.
Ain't no way.
Nah, he might show up as the younger tech bro. Honestly, I don't. He may even show up in Young Avengers because I think they were trying to like present him as like the younger tech bro, because you can see that he's probably 21, 22. He's good with electronics and this, that, and the other, and just like his demeanor and like he's got the snack, like he's a big kid. so to speak. And of course, he's getting out there. He's in the suit now for the first time, and he's doing his thing. And he is being reckless. And, I can do it. I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because he feels like he needs to prove himself. And that's the route they're going. So I do agree that we see him again later. It is going to be a very cut the BS. We got to be serious. And this is because towards the end of the movie, you know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, okay, so barrel roll. And he starts explaining how to use the thrusters and stuff. He's like, man, that's it. That's all I had to do was get hurt to learn the secrets. Okay, cool. And I think they're going to build that relationship a little bit better. So we'll probably get a more mature, older Falcon because he's been through some shit now,
Got your ass beat.
This MCU, is this a return to form? Is Captain America Brave New World, is this a return to form? A lot of people have been under the impression that
I think it's a good start. It was a solid, what is it?
Popcorn
lead
flick
into whatever it is that we're doing next. I think that this was I want to see what happens next. Fantastic Four, right? Is that next? Thunderbolts. Oh yeah, because that's my movie. That's got all my doll babies in it. Yeah, yep. I'm for that. So I think that's going to be really fun.
What phase is Brave New World?
It don't matter.
That's right. Because nobody
MCU
phase 17. Nobody. Okay.
It's the MCU phase.
MCU phase 17. And we're doing the Thunderbolts next. And I love this. I am so excited for that. Y'all know how I love me some Yelena and my Bucky all in the same movie.
I am looking forward.
Made no sense.
I am looking forward to that. No, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna break my heart again.
I think we got some. We definitely got some good things.
I got ghetto there as hell. Please edit that out.
She'll be fine as long as you know who isn't in the movie.
Okay, so this has been. This has been Captain America: Brave New World spoiler review. I hope you've enjoyed what we've had to say about the movie. Tell us your thoughts. What did you like? What were your favorite parts? Were there things that you think they could have done better, or things that you think they might have missed the mark on? And how do you think this leads into the future of the MCU? Is it a return to form? What would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? Leave the comments down below and let us know. We are GrownAGeeks for Brandy, RG, Jeffrey, Teresa. I'm Elder Geek Sam, and we are out of here. Peace.